Welcome to a Reddit and Read video now. Serious. Teachers of Reddit, what is the surprisingly smartest thing your stupidest student has ever said? Attention. Serious tag notice. Jokes, puns, and off-topic comments are not permitted in any comment. Parent or child. Parent comments that aren't from the target group will be removed, along with their child replies. Report comments that violate these rules. Posts that have few relevant answers within the first hour, and posts that are not appropriate for the serious tag will be removed. Consider doing an AMA request instead. Thanks for your cooperation and enjoy the discussion. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit if you have any questions or concerns. I hate the word in describing this kiddo. And it wasn't so much what she said, but did. She certainly wasn't stupid, but as an at-risk youth counselor I can say she was very low functioning. She went AWOL one night out of the blue. Not one staff saw her leave. Usually when this happens, kids go do dumb kid stuff like going to a park to drink and smoke. Teenage shit. Well, we didn't see her for 2 days. We finally got a phone call from a person who had taken her in 400 some miles away. When she got back to our facility, she had this nervous look, knowing I was gonna scold her. I didn't. I was fucking impressed. I asked her how she did it, and she said she kept hopping buses. I guess none of the drivers had the heart to kick her off. So there she went. I took a very big risk in the fact that I congratulated her on her journey. Her eyes lit up when I told her she had managed to travel farther than any kid that had ever gone AWOL. She never did it again and actually graduated the program with success. Still a booger, but I'll always remember that booger. I was on lunch duty one day and a middle school boy jokingly said, "Mr. Original Sanitizer, you wanna buy me an extra?" Quote. I replied with, "Do I look like your daddy?" Quote. He replied, straight-faced, "I don't know. You might. I ain't never met him this year. I bought him an extra." Edit. An extra is something extra to the basic school lunch, like an ice cream sandwich. I teach first grade, so many not as dramatic as other replies. I had a kid who is kind of never quite paying attentions. We read a dinosaur book and were answering very basic first grade questions in the back of the book. It literally had a brachiosaurus and said, "The dinosaur's legs are A long, B short." He pretty much got stuck here and didn't move on. To me, it was the easiest question in the book, but some of the students are low-level English learners, so it is possible he just couldn't understand the words long or short. After like 7 minutes of doing my rounds and assisting other students, I came back to him this year. He had written in, "See, long and short are both opinion words." Just this past Tuesday, I had a student struggling with science homework, actually math skills. But for my science class, he was almost mute about what he needed, what he didn't understand, no matter how much I tried to guide him through unit conversions. The study period was ending and I had to let him go with little progress made. As he was packing up, he told me, "I'll try it again after art class. I'm usually smarter at this after I do some art." I thought that was an interesting observation, and I asked him why he thought that might be the case. He said, "I'm pretty good at art. It's easier to try hard stuff while I still feel like I'm good at something, because I want to keep feeling like that." That's the entire educational psychology argument for fostering a sense of competency in the support of intrinsic motivation, in the fewest words possible. I actually think he's one of my smartest students. Really. He just struggles to make it show on paper. Some of my 5th graders were playing with a basketball in the hallway. I told them to stop. They did for a second, then continued. I said, "Guys, why do you keep bouncing that ball in the hallway?" Quote. And one of them just looked at me and said, "If you were 10 you'd do it too." I was like, "Yeah, I guess I would. Scout leader, doing first aid with some cubs. I ask one lad, how do you treat a burn? And he replies, with respect. I had a band-aid on my elbow, one of the big ones, and my student was trying to work out what it was. It was a drunken fall. I said ninjas had got me. He said it sounded like a ninjury. I laughed out loud. This kid isn't dumb, but most of the things he says are, just because he talks a lot and likes to argue. This kid goes to a private school which is open for 11 hours every day, even though the school day runs for 7 hours. If parents need to drop their kids off early or pick them up late, they have that option. He told me that he really wanted to get a dog, but his parents won't do it because there would be no one home to take care of the dog most of the time. The rest of the conversation went like this. Me. That makes sense. Puppies and dogs need lots of attention. It wouldn't be nice to leave them home alone all day. Kid. Well, we could bring it to doggy daycare me. Every day. Question mark. If someone is taking care of your dog for 8 hours every day, is that even your dog? Him. Well, that's what they do with kids. So real and so sad. That moment has stayed with me for a few years now. When I was teaching subtracting across 0,507 to 254 to second graders, one kid said, it's like when your mom needs milk and you go to your neighbor and no one is there, so you go to the next door. Me. How do you know if something is alive? Quote. Them. If you can kill it. Quote. I don't know if this counts, but I was teaching a public speaking class. It was mostly 9th grade. They were all nervous about their first big speech, and I tried to ease their nerves by saying, I promise giving a speech won't kill you. Then, some kid shouted, do you know how many people in history have died while giving a speech? Question mark. Question mark. Quote. Thanks for watching a Reddit and Read video. Make sure to like and subscribe for new content.